Mga kaalaman tungkol sa meteorite o mga palatandaan meteorite ang hawak mo.
Good day, everyone. Greetings from the Philippines. I'd just like to show everyone here the latest addition to my meteorite collection. So what we have here is a stony meteorite. It's an ordinary chondrite that fell in Northwest Africa. And as you can see, it is covered with a shiny, dark fusion crust. This is formed from the intense heat as it crashed through the Earth's atmosphere. Now there's a part here that is exposed, the interior, and you just take a look just how thin that fusion crust is. It's less than a millimeter in thickness. It's almost like just a fraction of a millimeter. So another thing I noticed with this rock is that if you look at the fusion crust on this side of the rock and compare it with, say, this side of the rock, you'll notice that this fusion crust is a lot more rough than this fusion crust. And I believe the reason for that is that this was part of a bigger rock that broke apart high up in the Earth's atmosphere. And since it broke apart, the rough interior of the rock got exposed. However, it was still moving at a fast enough velocity that a secondary fusion crust forms over the rough exposed interior, creating this rougher side of the fusion crust. So I believe this is a secondary fusion crust, and this is the primary. Another thing I noticed is that if you look back on this side, you'll see at the edge what appears to be some sort of like a rim or a lip. You see that? Right there. So I may be wrong, but I believe that is a rollover lip. So a rollover lip happens when the molten rock on the surface gets pushed back and rolls over the trailing end of the rock, creating this rollover lip. And if we look here on this side, we see some thumb mark size depressions. And I believe these are called regmec lips. So this is also formed through ablation as it crashed through the Earth's atmosphere. See that? Now, from what I've read, regmec lips in stony meteorites tend to not be as deep and as well defined as, say, the regmec lips in iron meteorites. So if you take a look at the regmec lips in iron meteorites, they would look a little bit more different and would appear to be deeper. But this is a stony meteorite. So yeah, and it is attracted to a magnet. So we have a neodymium magnet here. It also works with a regular ceramic magnet. So as you can see, it is strongly attracted to a magnet. And the reason for this is that ordinary chondrites still, although they're stony meteorites, they still contain iron and nickel. And as a matter of fact, when I let people hold this, a lot of them mention as to how significantly heavier it is to a typical rock. And it also kind of feels like metal, like it gets cold easily. So that's another thing I noticed. Now, it is also important to note that there are also many earth rocks that also attract to a magnet. And there are also some rare meteorites that don't attract to a magnet. However, over 95% of all meteorites would attract to a magnet, and that is because of their iron and nickel content. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at this meteorite. So I actually collect all kinds of things, not just meteorites. I also collect fossils, so this is the little display thing that I use. So I use this thing to cover it.